Welcome back to GC. We're currently in the last week of 5v5, and we are in the first round, and I have not done anything versus the opponent. Real life has been very busy, so I didn't really get to scout, change my defense, or I don't even know what my guy said against us. So I guess we're just going to get right into this. We should probably be looking at what our spreadsheet has to say about him. So this is our opponent. He does have actually only 35 more relic levels than us. So I think we finally settled into kind of our where we're supposed to be. We had a few seasons where we fell dramatically. We had one where we climbed up dramatically. And now I think we're going to start to go a pretty consistent 4 and 5, 5 and 4 ever since Dashacrons came out and kind of kicked my butt. So yeah, he has very comparable relic levels. I'm guessing we haven't beaten mods. I really don't know. Not huge margins. That's interesting. This guy has closer relics and closer mods than most. We do have more GAC Omicrons than him, so that is very nice. Overall, pretty. Does he have... crap. Every time. He has profundity. So, according to the numbers, we have the advantage here, but not having profundity, I do think, is going to cause more problems for us than having, 10 more plus 25s or whatever it was. So, that being said, this is his defense, I believe. This shouldn't be that hard to handle. There's no Ahsoka there. JTR has kind of fallen from grace. This will be interesting. Well, I'll have to see what I want to use here. And I think we just go something fast, maybe bounty hunters. And then here, I haven't looked at that yet. I don't know what we're doing there. Again, I'm just kind of stepping into this, and we'll come up with a game plan probably on the stream. Dashacron to handle there with GK. That's going to be fun. C, yeah, I don't know if we're full clearing, guys, but my defense is pretty standard as it has been over the last couple times. Still putting down my Malgus, my Lord Vader, as well as my Maul. Just trying to get them into only going for one wall. And then, of course, I've got JMK, Star Killer, Gas, and Ray up here. So, without further ado, let's get whacking. And here we go. So, we have to do this in a little bit of a weird way. We're going to try to see if we can take down Lord Vader. If we can't take him down, then we're just going to push north and call it a day. And this isn't great because, yeah, the only counter that I really have to this team, it involves taking in one where we really rely on the AI being dumb, aka not killing armor with Maul. And I even misplayed this a little, but I'll mention that. When Daka was about to die after armor went down, we had a chance to revive, and we maybe could have revived armor. It has a 35% chance to happen. Maybe that would have made a difference. But either way, this battle was super risky to come in. We were relying on good energy to make this work, and it's happened before. But the fact that Maul was able to kill all the way through first Daka and then also kill our armor really just made sure that wasn't going to happen. So what we're doing now is we're just going to try to beat the top wall. And I'm trying to look for a team that Vader is going to be able to beat without armor or water or anything like that. So we go ahead and take him versus the C team, and I'm thinking, oh, this will be pretty simple. I'm just going to keep going in AoE and around on everyone, and then we'll eventually build enough stacks up that we'll be able to call C. I didn't expect for Vader to get linked because his protection's really low, but I guess it makes sense in the context of this team with me using the reason why Dark and Imperial TIE Fighter are here, because they're my only R5 whatchamacallits. And yeah, this was super unfortunate. So I wasn't paying attention, and Sith Trooper, we actually killed one of the Sith Trooper, and now not only did he go and kill Vader, which is kind of fine because of the revive crime, but now he also got rid of my Merciless thing, as well as he got rid of my Emperor's Trap. So even calling him and supposed to be getting our bonus turn there or whatever, which we didn't, it just ended us. So that entire match was gone. So now I'm kind of with the attitude that this ship is just sunk. We're not totally out of this yet. We're trying to still think, all right, what do we need to do to at least get through these top two walls, and maybe we can beat him in the half board. So we take in our JML versus the Ray team, and this actually goes really well. They had dash, and I tried to take a specific team with Jedi Knight Revenant Shock so that we had double cleanse. So if we didn't land the ability block and dash just kept getting turns, that we would have multiple outlets to work our way around it, and that actually works really well. Like this felt super comfortable. I would definitely do this again. As long as you kind of do what we did and go after dash. I guess Vader here would probably cause at least a little, I don't know if it would sink the counter, but it would definitely cause more issues because you wouldn't be able to go after him right away. So as you can see, once we kill Dash, then it's kind of game over. I mean, Bam wasn't too hard to kill either once he was down, and then there's no Ben here, so that part is pretty easy. And then we really just charge Ray, and there's nothing we can do. We probably could have done this in a better way to like keep the 3 stacks of Inspired off of her so that she wouldn't keep gaining mastery from when we're gaining turn meter from using the lead ability, but it just kind of doesn't matter. We probably could have done better banner-wise, but, you know, I'll take the 60 versus Ray Dash. So we did that. And now I'm trying to figure out how would we beat C and Malgus at the same time. And I'm thinking, you know, I feel like we could have a better outcome trying to two-shot Malgus with Qui-Gon Jinn, and then we can use my own C versus their C, because Qui-Gon Jinn isn't going to do crap against their C, because the whole thing is turned off. So I'm like, okay, let's try this. They don't have Malak. That probably makes this significantly easier. So we go in, and the stars just kind of align here. They kill Qui-Gon while we have our big bonus damage for Jedi Anakin, so we're able to use our AoE, really level most of the team, and actually kill Darth Revan, which really the goal of this team was not to win the battle. It was to kill at least 2 characters. I really wanted to kill Bastila Fallen and Darth Revan. I would have settled for Talon instead, but really need to get Darth Revan out of there, because his AoE fear, we're going to come on and clean this up with bounty hunters, which was the plan since the beginning. And if Darth Revan lived, that would have been very complicated. So now, before we do that, or I guess hopefully that didn't accidentally get cut out, but we took in bounty hunters to beat that button. We're going to go ahead and use Iris C now. Yeah, that might have actually got cut. That's a bummer. That happened. It was pretty easy. Mando got his Annihilate and annihilated everyone. That probably actually still is in here, but we go ahead and take in our C versus the Malak team, and we kind of just put it on auto after linking the 2 of them, because with we both have a pretty good Datacron. I think ours is better. Ours is the 6%, so we got ult super fast, whereas he had the 20%, and it takes him a little longer to get it. But we're consistently landing the shock here, and we're doing enough damage to get into his health, so even though he's recovering protection, we're still fine. Rokaran, one of our viewers at the time, he made a really good point that we should have not gone into ultimate until their C had lost all his protection, so that whenever you use his heal ability, it wouldn't come back, and that would have probably been a smarter way to do it. Yeah, it looks like we did cut that battle, so that wasn't intentional, but we used Aura Bounty Hunters to clean up the other team. So this battle is a little sketchy. We didn't land the initial stun on Adrad, which isn't good because he has the cleanse. And if he has the cleanse, then nobody's really stunned. So they kind of get some traction on us, but ultimately not enough. Their explosives do start to build over a while. And I'm like, okay, we can't really kill Pathfinder because he's loaded with buffs right now. And he's just going to come back. So we just keep hitting him and just go for the true damage, I guess. We keep using the AoE just because, I want true damage. I want the defense up. And what I typically like to do with this team is I like to kill the sides before I kill Adrad. Just because he's super tanky, and it can be really hard to get through. And I would rather the other 3 be dead than kill Adrad, and then Jinn will just fall over, and we won't have to worry about anything, which is what we've been doing quite a bit, and it works very well. 64 banners. So we're now... This is the other battle that I didn't want to do. So we were debating in the beginning of using SLKR or this team versus Lord Vader. And I like this team even less than I liked SLKR. Because if Thrawn fractures Bam, we are dead in the water. There is nothing you can do. Because even if they target Bam every single turn, Fennec still dies to dots and to AoEs. Which is almost really what happens. They pretty consistently target... Bam for things, but it doesn't matter because they, like I said, they have kind of their full access there. So we just decided to go in against another team now. So we're gonna go ahead and check out their Starkiller team, and I'm a little bit worried because it has Savage in the lead, and we haven't done that before. But at the same time, like I don't think this stops Grievous, and I will make note, you have to play this differently than you play normal Starkiller. So when you're going in and we're doing this, I think one of the most crucial abilities here is every single time you can, even if he's not taunting, using the ability that steals health on Savage for Grievous. Because not only are you dropping Savage's health pool and making him really honestly killable, but Grievous is actually getting to add that, and he's getting a significant damage boost. So that's a pretty big deal. And then another thing that I don't do at the very beginning here, but I should be doing, this is different from most Starkiller counters. You want to kill Starkiller first. If you don't kill Starkiller first in this scenario where they have Savage there instead of Palpatine or whatever, then Savage essentially just doesn't die because he's not only does he have like, a bunch of health and stuff from his own Omicron and his own kit, but he also has a lot of boosted stats from Starkiller himself. And if Starkiller doesn't die, he gets to keep those stats. So we eventually do get Starkiller down with AoEs and with direct attacks. So now Savage's health pool is a lot lower, and we're going to keep dragging it down with Grievous's health steal ability, and eventually we'll get it to the point where he just can't take it anymore, and the sides will just probably die from AoEs. So again, stealing his health, adding to our own. Extorting him is kind of nice, I guess. He just doesn't use one of his other abilities, but you can see now that he's, yeah, eventually his health pool just gets depleted, and he'll be killed for 61. Just as easy we would have killed Palpatine, if not more so, really. So we did that, and now we need to beat Qui-Gon Jinn with CLS, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's a way. I think we can finesse this with stuns so that Jedi Anakin never actually gets to blow everyone up, and that's exactly what we do. We stun him to begin with so that when we drop Mace with buff immunity, he's not there, and then we're able to stun him again with Chewbacca, and then things just go off without a hitch. And I think we've done this before. It's been a while, but I think this is fairly consistent as long as you have, you know, your CLS built up properly with good mods and whatnot. So really easy 65. We need to beat their, I guess, leftover resistance team. This is another thing, completely random note. One team that I would like to get in the next GAC Omicron is something that could make a second resistance team viable. Because I really don't see it. Even if you place race scoundrels, I feel like the leftover resistance is still pretty bad. Especially, I guess, Sortie kind of takes a few of them, but yeah, I think they could use some help. Like, very similar to how the First Order TIE Pilot brought a lot of viability to a secondary First Order team. I think Resistance could really use it too, because Rose Tico Omicron ain't cutting it. So we did that for ground, and we got everything down except Lord Vader. Again, we did beat the Malgus team with bounty hunters, and now we're gonna go ahead and go for fleet. And fleet is pretty important because if we don't get this, then we only got one wall. And he set, this is another opponent that we've had that set Profundity. And I guess I get it. Like, Profundity is not the best defensive team. But at the same time, I guess it's a new team, so people don't know how to handle it. So we go ahead and we have to use First Order versus Empire again. We did this last round. It worked really well. And pretty much the strategy was just kill their TIE advance as soon as possible, control bomber, and profit. And this battle goes well, at least in the very beginning. But I think actually one of the things that messed this up was their Imperial shuttle coming in as early as it did. I think last time we actually got the TIE Interceptor the first time, and I think that actually helped a lot. So now we're kind of stuck. The Interceptor came in, and now we're stuck behind the Taunt again. We couldn't really just remove it because they had all the target lock out there and whatnot. And then they kill my Silencer. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. We're definitely not winning this match, but I'm like, okay, can we at least kill Shuttle so then whatever comes in to clean this up doesn't have to deal with both Shuttle and Vader. And the other nice thing about that is the Interceptor will start as a starting unit, not a reinforcement. So we'll handle that later. We have to beat Profundity. So we bring in Malevolence versus Profundity, and I'm like, okay, this probably isn't going to work. I think I even misplayed this, if I'm being honest. We should have used the Overcharge on the Vulture Droid, because when we use it on Hyena, it can be cleared on because he's the one that's going to be taunting. If we put Overcharge or whatever the buff's name is onto Vulture, it would have been able to survive longer. And you'll see that we don't here, and that's not great. So we put it on him, that's cool and all. We get the buzz droids, and then it gets removed. And that's not ideal, because now when everyone comes in to assist, they're not going to build it, and we're going to have less damage. Not only that, but we also don't land defense down on the Y-Wing with the mass assist with Spy. So that's, in my mind, this match is over. Like, we had a small shot, but both between misplaying and bad RNG, we're just kind of done for. And then we start to make a little bit of progress on Outrider. I think this is really what sealed the deal, is they brought in Ravensclaw, and Ravensclaw has no place on this team. Like, no place at all. There's scoundrels on this team, so his whole kit is pretty much worthless, and he's just kind of sitting there. And then we're, very surprisingly enough, able to really take apart this Profundity team. One of the big parts, and everyone who's watching this has probably realized by now, they don't have Millennium Falcon. He decided to take the Millennium Falcon on offense to go kill Negotiator or something. If you're in Kyber 1, I do not like that at all. This is a very clearly inferior team. We just beat that with Malevolence while misplaying without TIE Bomber. Like, that's not good. That being said, we do need to beat our opponent's Negotiator, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to use our own Rebels, but my Rebels aren't very good, so I have to take in a burner first, and then we're going to follow up with Rebels, so they don't have their AoE and all their specials. I don't know, Biston is the reason why. I guess get asked that a lot, why I didn't use Biston. I don't have him. But we will, well, no, we won't have Bistan. But so what we're going to do now is we're going to go right after Ahsoka, because if we can get rid of Ahsoka, number one, she'll be dead. That's cool. But also, we will pretty much ride out Jedi Anakin's unending loyalty, and then we can just go ahead and kill him. Unfortunately, they bring in Sarge, which that's actually... Sarge is typically... You kind of want to see him, and then they dodge. They dodged my big hit there, so that was disappointing, because that would have cleared the protection, and that would have also cleared his taunt, because he has to have protection to taunt. Now we have a clear aim at Jedi Anakin. I'm like, okay, if we can just kill him, we can probably call this good. So we call in Ghost, and we... Millennium Falcon can call him to assist, and that's pretty much a done deal right there. So Jedi Anakin is dead. This fight is over. There's nothing they can do. So we just keep on taking them out in accordance with who's weakest. I'll tell you one thing, the Home 1 fleet, and this might just be Rebels in general, really good protection recovery. Like, pretty darn stinking good. Yeah. So, again, not a lot they could have done after they lost Jedi Anakin. So that was nice. And now, speaking of, I guess, cleanups, we have to use our Raddus to clean up the leftover Empire fleet that our First Order left behind, so unfortunately. And I guess they probably had some cooldowns off their whatchamacallit, but yeah, I'm just trying to think, can we like fast track this and start killing the sides before we kill Bomber? So I just go for the little mass assist there. Now she's low enough that I think the AoE probably just levels her, and it does. And we just, we use the big hit on TIE Bomber, and then Reaper comes in. At this point, again, this is a cleanup fleet. So, not only do they not have their good ships, but they're going to start calling in a lot of their bad ships, like the Shuttle, much better ship than Reaper is. This is, yeah, so this is significantly easier to clean up than it would have been beforehand. I guess that's why they call it a cleanup. So, we end up winning this pretty handily, at least that match. And then for the overall fight, we win too. Our opponent really struggled when it came down to everything on defense. They dropped a Battle of Savage. They dropped a Battle of Lord Vader. That was very nice, because I don't think they could have actually won in efficiency, because top is worth more in 5v5, and they left 2 teams, whereas we only left 1. So I'm not sure how many of those little fails actually made a difference. But my back wall didn't do anything. Not exactly a big shocker. And then top wall also did a lot. They lost. And this might just go to show either maybe he just didn't understand Ben's kid, or maybe he got stuck. But this is pretty clear to me that Ben was the problem here, because they just couldn't kill Rey, and then something happened. I'm not quite sure what happened. By the way, the bug is not active for anyone who's watching this. Remembers the bug where they become unkillable. So got a hold there. Starkiller got 3 holds, which that was pretty cool. Guess he didn't really need Starkiller. I'm guessing whatever he tried with Palpatine and Tarkin failed, because he didn't. I don't think he one-shot a single one of my Galactic Legends. So, pretty cool for me. We won the match, and now we have another one coming up here real soon. So, thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay awesome.